Hi, television family. We're back. Thanks for starting your day with us here on the NCW Live channel with Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I am Dan Kuntz, your host. Has been for the last decade. It's hard to believe, isn't it? A little hazy out there, as you can see. It is 71 degrees. The weather station's working again at Pangborn. Yay! It's been down. It was down since like last Wednesday. Seems to be working again. You can see the haze behind us. We'll be talking about the air quality. Probably going to be worse than it was yesterday. We didn't get above the moderate stage. The basin did. The basin got into the unhealthy for sensitive groups stage. They got a little more smoke out of the Moses Lake Ephrata area, and we may have to be dealing with this again because of the fires to the north and the east of us. But the big story is going to be the heat. Heat advisory begins at 11 o'clock this morning, goes all the way through Thursday night. We could easily hit triple digits today. Probably not. Pretty good shot at triple digits on Wednesday and Thursday. High pressure is large and in charge. It is going to be very dry. But for the folks fighting the area fires, including the big one, the Kaiser Canyon fire up there near Nispelem, it's actually not bad because they're not expecting any wind at all. So this is a good chance for them to get a toehold on what's going on, although the fire is not contained. We'll have that, or not 0% contained. We'll have that. Mariners, that was an interesting game last night. Cal Raleigh hit a grand slam home run. They intentionally walked Dom Canzone. They intentionally walked him to purposely pitch to Cal, and the Reds paid the price for that. Applesauce go back to work today as well. In the back half of the program, my conversation with Jerri Barkley from Visit Chelan, specifically Visit the Places in Chelan County, because she works for Chelan County to get the folks come here. And she does a pretty good job of it. We had a great conversation with Jerri. We went out to the Spirit of America 9/11 Memorial in Kashmir to take that interview. Don't miss that in the back half of the program. We've got some smoky skies to show you. Here we go. From the National Weather Service, I'll let you know, actually from the Department of Ecology, I'll let you know right now, we are at 80 on the AQI scale. So that's what we're looking at right now. 80 is moderate. I wish it was better. Now that may be a little deceiving because if you go outside and you look straight up, you see blue skies. So the smoke is actually around the rim of the valley, and it's all the upper level winds that will move the smoke around. And since there isn't any, the smoke goes up to the very bottom of the high pressure ridge and then seeps back down again. So this is usually the time of the day with relative humidity at its highest and temperatures at its coolest that the smoke is at its least bad, at least dense anyway. It'll probably get worse as the day progresses. So if you look in the upper right-hand corner of the Hay Canyon camera there, you can see blue sky. That's an example of what I was talking about. And again, these cameras have a lot of real estate. So it may look hazier on television than it actually is to the naked eye. Let's see what Leavenworth looks like on this Tuesday morning. Well, there you go from our Tumwater Canyon camera. It doesn't look too bad there. Leavenworth is at 71 on the AQI scale. The folks who are really getting hammered is out in the Lilac City. Spokane's been getting some pretty bad air. Also some pretty bad air down near the Yakima area. Yakima, of course, the gateway to Wapato. And there's up to the very top of Billy Goat. Perfect example of that. Of course, that camera is considerably closer as the crow flies to the fire, specifically the Kaiser Canyon fire, which is still big, real big. That is the dominant fire in our area and probably will be for a while. This thing's going to take a while, but as you can see, it's pretty dirty air up there. Let me look real quick. Oh my, it is 166 in Omak. That's the closest one that I can see here. That is hazardous. That's not good. So it is pretty bad. It's getting worse up there in the Omak area, which is the closest AQI station that we have there. 166 in Omak right now, also in Tenasket. And it's not too good in Brewster either, I'm told. And you can kind of see Brewster a little bit there. It is Tuesday. We always check in with the Climate Prediction Center. Good news. Right now, the long-term forecast, this takes us from Sunday of this week all the way to Thursday of next week, basically wrapping up the month of July. We are leaning slightly below normal for temperatures. We're in for a little bit of a cooling pattern. It's still July, still going to be very warm, but we're leaning below it looks like we could see some cooler than normal temperatures. That's on your left, and on your right is your chance of precipitation. The precipitation outlook, same time period, Sunday to next Thursday, and it's looking like we could see maybe a little bit above normal precipitation. A cool, wet, but not heavy rain for about a day and a half would be just what the doctor ordered. That, unfortunately, is not in the forecast. And by the way, sunrise this morning, 5:26, and it was really cool because, of course, you had the haze and the sun, and it was a beautiful sunrise. So hazy and a little on the warm side. Again, the heat advisory begins at 11 o'clock this morning, goes all through the rest of the day today, all day Wednesday up until 9 o'clock Thursday night. So 99 today, very warm. For the overnight low, 74. For the overnight low, will bump up to 102. Wednesday looks to be the hottest day of the work week with lots of haze. And a lot of it depends on how they do with airdrops on the fires and stuff like that. There's a lot of the fires, especially the Kaiser Canyon fire, a lot of that terrain is completely inaccessible to firefighters. So they're basically concentrating on structure protection in and around Nespelem. 101 on Thursday, not quite as hazy, they think. There's no wind at all in the forecast. It'll be hot on Friday, 97, and then we cool down a little bit. A little bit of marine air is going to come in overnight Friday night into Saturday, which is why we're going to cool down quite a bit, especially for the overnight lows. We'll take that marine air. It ain't much, but we'll take it. We'll have things will be a little more comfortable for most folks by the time we get to Saturday, Sunday, and into Monday of next week. What we really need is rain, and that's not going to happen. Going to take a break and come back with your latest headlines on this Tuesday. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the Instant Life channel.
The Surf and Slide Water Park is open from Memorial Day through Labor Day. Surf and Slide is located in the heart of Central Washington in Moses Lake with activities for all ages and abilities. Check out Surf and Slide's Flow Rider Surfing Simulator, Lazy River, 2 200-foot water slides, tube slides, and diving boards. Our children's area includes a Treasure Island water structure, splash pad, and baby octopus slide. For season passes, visit us online or find Surf and Slide on Facebook.
Are you dealing with a pest or weed issue and you just don't know what to do?
We use the best pest control methods approved for areas with kids and pets.
Whether it's rats, mice, ants, or spiders,
or something else altogether,
we provide the coaching and solutions you're looking for.
And you can know that your dollars are supporting a local, family-owned and operated business.
Allow us to help you get back to living healthy and pest-free. Harvest Valley Pest Control.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCW Life, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
Whether you're building from the ground up or transforming your space with a custom remodel, One Way Construction is your trusted partner in creating a home that's uniquely yours. Your dream home is just a call away. Schedule your free consultation and let's build something amazing together.
Pretty hazy up Lake Wenatchee way, isn't it? We're at 71 degrees. A heat advisory begins at 11 o'clock this morning for the rest of the day today, all day Wednesday, and pretty much all day Thursday. It is due to expire at 9 o'clock on Thursday evening, but we're in for 3 days of pretty hot weather. And of course, as you can tell behind me, some pretty lousy air quality because of essentially the Kaiser Canyon fire. That is the latest map that they have. That little white spot right in the middle is the town of Nespelem, and that's been the concentration trying to save Nespelem from any more damage. 4 homes and a number of outbuildings have been destroyed, but that's pretty much what they're working on. The Northern Rockies Incident Management Team took over control of the fire, or command of the fire, I should say, at 7 o'clock yesterday morning. So the big thing is to make sure it doesn't get any big runs going. Of course, that's what happened over the weekend. It started on June 26th in the early morning hours with a lightning strike, but then they had some big runs into some timber and some brush and some grass. So the big thing they're working on, of course, critical infrastructure, so power lines, things like that, and firefighter safety, the homes, the outbuildings, and of course trying to keep the town of Nispelem from catching on fire along the northwestern portion of the fire perimeter. As I mentioned at the beginning of the show, there is a lot of areas in this fire that firefighters simply cannot get to. So they're doing their best to just build containment lines. Now that the sun is up, they'll send the planes up. They'll get a pretty accurate idea of where the fire is, but it's still at about 63,000 acres. Still no containment. To our knowledge, nobody has been injured so far in this fire. And not too far away is the Modrite fire. There it is. This fire is burning in a remote area. Very little population along there. Yesterday, it grew by about 1,500 acres. It's about 7,702 acres roughly from the last time it was mapped. It is 0% contained. It is moving to the north and the east along the west shore of Lake Roosevelt. Again, pretty remote area there. Not a lot of people spend a lot of time in that area, and that is contributing a little bit to the smoke, but most of the smoke is from the Kaiser Canyon fire, which is over 100 square miles as opposed to the Modrite fire, which continues to burn. And of course, air quality is an issue. There's the map, the latest one that we have from the Department of Ecology, the AQI scale. Right now, Wenatchee's at 80. Moses Lake is at 98. Moses Lake did get into hazardous for sensitive groups yesterday, and everybody is ahead of where they were yesterday at this time. Yesterday at this time, the air quality in the Wenatchee Valley was actually good. It was below 50. Now it's at 80, and as the day progresses and it heats up, it'll probably get worse than that. As I already mentioned, in the Omak, Okanagan, and Tenasket area, it is at 166 on the AQI scale. That is not good. And again, as the fires continue to burn and there is no movement in the air at all, there's not a breeze to be, no breeze at all to speak of. The smoke is coming up. It's hitting the bottom of the ridge that's over the top of north central Washington and kind of seeping back down again. And the Chelan Douglas Regional Port Authority has 4 significant water projects out in the Malaga area. That's been a site of some significant development being spearheaded by the Chelan Douglas Regional Port Authority. 4 major projects in the Malaga area. One of them is already underway, and these projects will take you all the way through till the middle of 2028. There's going to be some meetings tonight for the residents of Malaga so they know what to expect, and our own news editor, Emily Thornton, filed this report.
Hi, I'm Emily Thornton with the Wenatchee World and NCW Life. The Port Authority will have 2 public meetings. One is tomorrow at 6 p.m. at the Malaga Fire Station. The second one is 10 a.m. on Wednesday. They'll be talking about $50 million in Malaga Water District improvements. The 4 major construction projects are starting this month, one of them starting this month. They're expected to last through October 2027. People will probably see road closures at certain times. Microsoft is footing the entire $50 million bill, so district taxpayers do not have to worry about covering it. Microsoft plans to build possibly up to 6 data center buildings, but that all depends on the need, people's need for the cloud and whatnot. The first building actually will probably open this fall. For more information, visit WenatcheeWorld.com. I'm Emily Thornton with the Wenatchee World and NCW Life.
And again, as Emily mentioned, you could read the Wenatchee World to get more information. One of those meetings today, the other meeting tomorrow at 10 a.m. and it's open to everybody. You don't have to be a resident of Malaga. Everybody has a vested interest in those projects. And that's a quick look at the news on this Tuesday. We'll be back at it, and by we, I mean other people, to put together the news tonight at 5 o'clock, and then again at 5:30, and then again at 6 o'clock, and then again at 6:30, and then forever and ever and ever and ever. It's the never-ending newscast. It'll be on YouTube right around 5 o'clock. We're on all the platforms that you see there on the screen, including Roku and Peacock. We're not on Peacock. Send us an email if you have a news tip, news@ncwlife.com. Nice little Mariner victory. Last night's victory may finally get things really moving in the right direction for the Mariners, and we'll prove it to you with highlights in 2 minutes. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Hi, I'm Amanda Walden with A. Walden Insurance Group. Medicare can be overwhelming, but you don't have to figure it out alone. I've been helping people understand their Medicare options for over a decade. Medicare isn't a one-size-fits-all. I'll help you understand your coverage options so you can feel confident in your decisions. Let's find the right Medicare plan for you. Call me today or come and see me at my office located on South Chelan Avenue in Wenatchee between the YMCA and the Social Security office. I look forward to meeting you soon.
Community is more than just a place. It's the people, stories, and connections we share. At the Wenatchee World, we're your neighbors, your storytellers, and your trusted voice. From uncovering the issues that matter most to celebrating the moments that bring us together. We deliver the stories that keep the community moving forward. The Wenatchee World, your community voice, here every day.
Sitting is not just about sitting. It's about the moments you refocus, recenter, and return to your full self. Stressless seating is always there for you. And right now, at Boswell's Home Furnishings, receive $100 off every $1,000 spent or $500 off stressless power recliners. This is your moment. Stressless. Recharge, reset, and shine.
Sports are just about 18 minutes after the hour. Cal Raleigh hit his 6th career grand slam in rather unusual circumstances. George Kirby and the bullpen combined to give up just 3 hits. And the Mariners romped over the Cincinnati Reds last night at T-Mobile Park. The final was 8-0, so the Mariners are back above the 500 mark. And they're also a half a game ahead of Texas atop the American League West. And the game marked the return of our old friend, Eugenio Suarez.
An emotional moment here in Seattle. They revisited the mammoth grand slam for Eugenio Suarez. Led the Mariners to a Game 5 win over Toronto in the ALCS. Got a welcome back to a standing ovation. The entire house stood and cheered for Gino. Chip to right, Victor Robles.
A lot of it, this guy right here with 20 pacing.
And on his hands, he popped him up into shallow right field, and Robles comes in to make the catch. And, oh, here comes Arroyo. Hold, dead duck at the plate. A little. On the ground, De La Cruz gets to it, and wide throw. The Mariners take the lead. Robles scores, and Julio gives the Mariners a 1-0 lead in the 5th inning. With a little help from De La Cruz. Fly ball deep enough into left field. Blade makes the catch. Here comes Victor Robles, and Colt Emerson gets the job done. A huge run for the M's. It's 2-0 in the 7th inning. This is served into right field, and it drops down, base hit. Luke Raley stampedes home. Raley into third. Weston Wilson drives in another run for the Mariners, and it's 3-0.
Well, this has just got to frustrate Cal Raleigh.
They are intentionally walking the left on left.
To get to Cal Raleigh hitting from the right side.
Fly ball! Blasted! Way back and gone! Grand slam, Cal Raleigh! Want a redo?
That's what you do when somebody disrespects you. That's what you do right there. Well done, Cal Raleigh.
Runs in franchise history. Broken bat Squibber. Arroyo loses it. Safe at first base. Another run in.
Oh, this double play combo up the middle for the Reds.
The 0-2. That's the ball game. The Mariners win it in a laugher. 8-0. Mariners take game one. A grand slam for Cal Raleigh. A quality start for George Kirby. And the Mariners now find themselves on top in the American League West.
Cal, we're going to go back to that 7th inning. They walked the guy in front of you, Dom Canzone, to pitch to you, a former teammate of yours from last year. What were you thinking going up to the plate? What were you looking for?
I was just looking for something in the heart of the play, trying to get to the outfield, find a good pitch to hit and put a good swing on it.
Were you like the rest of us in this building, everyone watching home, kind of shocked, thinking, no, you don't walk the guy in front of you to get to Cal Raleigh?
That's not my decision, so I was just ready to hit.
Well, hey, man, look, it was a massive moment, massive grand slam. Is that something, is it one swing of the bat sometimes that sometimes that's all it takes to get the bat going, to get you feeling right at the plate?
Yeah, I think, my teammates did a great job today, get on base, and, hitting's contagious. So I think we're swinging the bat well, playing hard, and I like where we're at right now.
All right, well, one last thing. Look, you come out of the break. You just won 3 straight. You took the first one against the Reds. What are we going to see this second half from this team?
Yeah, I'm really excited. I know the boys are excited. The energy's good right now. Playing well, playing hard, and I think that's all we can really do. I think if we do that, we'll be right where we want to at the end of the year.
Awesome, Cal. Epic moment. Get that tried one more time. Awesome, bud. All right, Brad, with 3 straight, we're sending it back to you.
It's good to have Cal back. And if the Mariners go on a bit of a run, you might want to remember last night's victory. But they have a tall task today because Chase Burns will take the mound for the Reds. He's about as good as there is in baseball right now. He leads the National League in wins and ERAs. He's a good pitcher. We got our work cut out for us. We're going to counter with Louis Castillo. First pitch on Mariners.tv is at 6:40. Mariners win. They're back in front in the American League West. The scoreboard from yesterday. Thank you very much to the White Sox, who beat the Rangers 10-3. So the Mariners lead the Rangers by half a game. Their lead over the Astros is 3.5 games. Astros did beat the Marlins 8-5. The Athletics won over the Diamondbacks 5-2. So the Athletics are 7.5 games behind Seattle. And the Angels won. In fact, everybody in the division won except the Rangers, but the Angels are still 11 games back. The Wenatchee Applesauce continue to be the class of the West Coast League. You want to see a good team play good baseball? Pretty good chance tonight. Port Angeles has been struggling. They're just 10-29 on the year. They're 7th in the West Coast League's North in the second half. Of course, the Apple Sox already won the first half title. They may very well win the second half title. Apple Sox have the best record, too, in the West Coast League. First pitch tonight at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium is at 6:35. And there were games last night in the West Coast League. A couple of them were actually makeup games. They usually don't play on Mondays, but they were makeup games because of rain delays or weather action. So there's your scoreboard yesterday from the West Coast League. Your winners, Bellingham, Kamloops, which sounds like a cereal to me, and Marion beat Portland. And those are just some of the games that people are playing. If you're living in Guam and watching this show right now, happy Liberation Day to you folks in Guam. It's also National Be Someone today. Just National Be Someone. I think we all are someone. But today, July 21st, is today you can indulge in food that's bad for you. It's National Junk Food Day today, and a lot of food qualifies as junk food The number one, what's the parameters for junk food? It's bad for you. You know, it's got sugars and fats and all kinds of gunk that you probably shouldn't eat. That's the drawback. The good news is, you know, it's good and people eat. Junk food could be, I mean, Twinkies are junk food, potato chips and what have you. But most people, at least myself, we associate junk food with fast food restaurants. We do. That's just the way it is, whether, you know, that's just it. So I have the most successful fast food chains in America, and I used revenue, yearly revenue, to determine the top 10 fast food joints on this National Junk Food Day. Number 10, Panera Bread. We don't have one of these in town, right? Number 9, Pizza Hut. Number 8, Chick-fil-A. Don't look for a Chick-fil-A to come to town anytime soon. Number 7, Dunkin' Donuts. The 6th most profitable fast food joint is Taco Bell, which doesn't even serve food. Number 5 is Wendy's. Number 4, Burger King. Number 3, Subway. Number 2, and this surprised me, but it is technically a fast food restaurant. Number 2 is Starbucks. I don't associate Starbucks with food, but I guess they do. And of course, number 1, the Golden Arches, McDonald's. Happy Junk Food Day for you today. I know a number of people who partake in that particular holiday on a regular basis. Today in history, 101 years ago today in Dayton, Tennessee, the high school health teacher, the biology teacher, John T. Scopes, is found guilty of teaching evolution in class. It was all a setup. He was fined $100, by the way. This was a deliberately staged trial. They wanted to get as much publicity and get some tourism to come to the small town of Dayton, Tennessee. If you've seen the movie Inherit the Wind, you know what I'm talking about, which, by the way, is a great movie. It's the only Gene Kelly movie I've ever seen that he doesn't dance. He actually acts. He was good in it. Of course, on one side, Clarence Darrow for the defense, William Jennings Bryan for the prosecution. Fundamentalists against, you know, modernists. That was about it. The entire country was wrapped up in the Scopes trial. And you should see the movie Inherit the Wind. It's pretty good. I've always enjoyed it. He was fined $100, and then everybody went home. That was 101 years ago today. 67 years ago today, in Major League Baseball, it was no secret. If you were an African-American baseball player, there was one team you did not want to play for, and that was the Red Sox. And the Red Sox finally played their very first black player, and it was 1959. Pumpsie Green becomes the first African-American to play for the Boston Red Sox, the last team to integrate in Major League Baseball 12 years after Jackie Robinson, 2 years after Jackie Robinson had retired. The National League was always ahead of the American League when it came to integration, but the Red Sox were just blatantly racist, and eventually it began to affect the play of the team. They weren't fielding the best team that they could, and African Americans just weren't going to the ballpark. They said, well, why cheer for the Red Sox? They don't play any black players. The game, by the way, was not in Boston. It was in Chicago. They were hedging their bets. The fans at Comiskey Park, by the way, in Chicago, gave Pumpsie Green a standing ovation. Among the African Americans that tried out for the Boston Red Sox but were not signed by the Boston Red Sox include Jackie Robinson, Baseball Hall of Fame, Willie Mays, Baseball Hall of Fame, Ernie Banks, Baseball Hall of Fame, Satchel Paige, Baseball Hall of Fame, Don Newcombe, Baseball Hall of Fame, Hank Aaron, perhaps the greatest player of all time, and Frank Robinson, Baseball Hall of Fame. All of them tried out for the Boston Red Sox and were not signed, but they finally pulled their hat out of their you-know-what on this date in 1959. That's incredulous to look back on that. We started this yesterday. We end it today. Now you said, wait a minute, didn't we talk about the moon landing yesterday? Well, it happened actually over 2 days when the Eagle landed on the moon with Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin inside. It was about 11:30 in the evening. and they figured it would take a couple of hours for them to, it's not like they landed and they just popped out like you're getting out of your car at the shopping mall. They figured it'd take a couple hours to get them ready to go for the spacewalk. It actually took about 3.5 hours. So Neil Armstrong, the Eagle landed on the 20th, but Neil Armstrong didn't set foot on the moon until shortly before 3 o'clock in the morning. You may have seen this footage.
The surface appears to be very, very fine-grained as you get close to it. It's almost like a powder. Ground mass is very fine. I'm going to step off the limb. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. Oh, that looks beautiful.
Of course, the footprint's still there. You know, the moon doesn't have any atmosphere. There's no wind. It's still there 57 years ago today. And that exact same date, in downtown Washington, D.C., they had a huge banquet to celebrate the centennial of baseball. Kind of. It was 1969, so the centennial of professional baseball anyway. They had a huge party, about as big a party as you can get. Anybody who was anybody was invited, and they held a big banquet, and they named the all-time greatest baseball team and the all-time living team, named the greatest baseball player of all time, probably still is, the Babe, George Herman Babe Ruth, voted the greatest living player, Jolton Joe DiMaggio. That was on this date, on the same day that man landed on the moon. More baseball. Brad Corbett owned the Texas Rangers. He was a jerk. Billy Martin was the manager of the Texas Rangers, who could be a jerk. He was also a baseball genius. And the owner, Brad Corbett, and the manager, Billy Martin, have been going at it all summer long in 1975 regarding what song to play at the 7th inning stretch. The owner of the Rangers, Brad Corbett, wanted "Take Me Out to the Ball Game," a traditional song played on the organ with everybody singing along. Billy Martin wanted to play "Thank God I'm a Country Boy," which was a huge hit from John Denver. Billy Martin noticed when they played "Thank God I'm a Country Boy," everybody got up and really got into it. And when they played "Take Me Out to the Ball Game," they kind of just sat there. And so Billy ordered the music guy to play "Thank God I'm a Country Boy." And the owner said, "Stop doing that." And Billy kept playing it, and the owner finally said, "Billy, play "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" during the 7th inning stretch, not John Denver's "Thank God I'm a Country Boy. And if you do it again, I'm going to fire your butt." Well, on this date, 1975, Billy Martin got on the phone at the top of the 7th inning and told whoever was in charge up in the press box to play "Thank God I'm a Country Boy" during the 7th inning stretch. He did as he was told, and after the game, Brad Corbett fired Billy Martin. That was on this date, 1975. And the space shuttle program came to an end on this date in 2011. It was such a huge event, you'd think they would make a big deal out of it. They landed the Atlantis in the middle of the night at the Kennedy Space Center. I'll tell you a little bit more about the space shuttle program at first. Here's how it ended.
Landing gear down and locked. Main gear touchdown. Hurley now deploying the drag chute. Ferguson rotating the nose gear down to the deck. Nose gear touchdown. Having fired the imagination of a generation, a ship like no other, its place in history secured, the space shuttle pulls into port for the last time. Its voyage at an end.
Hey, thanks, Butch. Great words. Great words. You know, the space shuttle's changed the way we view the world, and it's changed the way we view our universe. There's a lot of emotion today, but one thing's indisputable. America's not going to stop exploring. Thank you, Columbia, Challenger, Discovery, Endeavour, and our ship Atlantis. Thank you for protecting us and bringing this program to such a fitting end. God bless all of you. God bless the United States of America.
From the time it was greenlit by Richard Nixon in 1971 until that day, on this date in 2011, so 30 years, Space Shuttle Cost $209 billion, just a little over budget. 135 total space shuttle missions, 1,323 days in space, 833 different crew members of those 135 space shuttle missions. Some crew members flew more than once, some even flew more than twice. Of course, 14 astronauts lost their lives. The final number of shuttles, there were 5 of them. The Columbia, the Challenger, the Discovery, the Atlantis, and the Endeavour. Endeavour, of course, we all know what happened to the Challenger and the Columbia. And of all of those flights, all of those missions, 135 of them, how many of those were commanded by women? 2. Birthdays, they're all heavenly birthdays. Papa, Ernest Hemingway, born in the state in 1899, took his own life in Idaho in 1961, but we still have The Sun Also Rises and A Farewell to Arms and For Whom the Bell Tolls, and the first book my dad ever made me read, and I'm glad he did, The Old Man and the Sea. Don Knotts, born 101 years ago today, he won 5 Emmy Awards, all of them portraying Deputy Barney Fife, the most nervous and inept law enforcement officer in the history of television. We miss Don Knotts. He was born in the state in 1924, and we miss Robin Williams. Yeah, he won an Academy Award. He was nominated for 4 of them. Robin Williams, born in the state in 1951. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. They are platinum sponsors. Might want to think about not just your air conditioner, but your HVAC system, but your air filtration system. They all tie in together. When was the last time you looked at those babies, those filters? Might not be such a bad idea, and if you don't know what you're doing, they do. Going to take a break. Mike Benatti's got an opinion, and then my conversation with Jerri Barkley. She does good work for Chelan County, getting people to come here. Probably a pretty fun job. My conversation with Jerri when we come back. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
NCW Life Channel is your local TV station. We believe in being the spotlight and mirror to the communities we serve in North Central Washington. Programming on NCW Life would not be possible without our sponsors. Special thanks to our platinum sponsor, Alpine Air. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air.
Now there are even more reasons to meet at the Pybus Market. Outdoor dining and tastings, the fabulous Farmers Market, Saturday artisans on the concourse, and your favorites all week long. No matter the reason, it's always time to meet at the Pybus Market. Pybus Market, where community meets.
This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, my sweet wife Rosie and I were recently listening to a Mariners game on the radio. The announcer said Joe was at bat. And my dear wife said, Joe? Who's Joe? Who is Joe? I've never heard of him. I said, well, he's a Mariner player, honey. And my dark beauty snapped, I know he's a Mariner, but who is he? Well, what possibly could I say to her? I never heard of the guy either. Well, how am I supposed to know who Joe was? Well, we did find out later that Connor Joe, 5'11", 205-pounder, was originally selected in the 39th overall draft in the 214th Major League Baseball first player draft. He has played with San Francisco, Colorado, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, San Diego, and with the Reds and the Padres in the 2025 season. Now he's a Mariner. That's who Joe is. Okay, got that figured out. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCW Life, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
Summer is here, and Collins Fashions has a great selection of lightweight tops, capri sundresses to keep you cool. So many events and parties in this summer, and we have special occasion dress wear for you. Fall fashions will be arriving soon from French Dressing, Carly B, Nick and Zoe, Joseph Ribkoff, Clara Sunwoo, Habitat and Cut. New Brighton jewelry and handbags arrive every week, and Brighton has beautiful gifts for the special people in your life. Personal service, great selection at Collins Fashions in downtown Wenatchee.
We are back here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley a couple of weekends ago, and it's still available online. You got to read this column that Jerri Barkley from Visit Chelan County wrote. It got me thinking that, first of all, I need to see my old friend Jerri again, who I haven't seen in about 10 years. But more importantly, the point that she made with the column, and again, you need to read it, was with the World Cup coming to the Pacific Northwest, and these people are from traveling all over the world, but they're there to cheer their country on, who's going to play one, maybe two games in Vancouver or Seattle, and then what are they going to do for a couple of weeks? Maybe they're driving over Highway 2 or over Blewett Pass and visiting our little neck of the woods. And she talked about the importance, well, you wrote the column, and you didn't do it better than I did, about how it's important for the people in your line of work to make sure everybody has their ducks in a row, so to speak. Because this is an important opportunity for Visit Chelan. The way you put, I guess you really need to read the, as she said, I'm just going to quote her now. At the end of the day, Visit Chelan County is charged with, and I'm quoting now, promoting tourism that supports Chelan County's economy while protecting its community's culture and natural environment. So we want people to come here, but we don't want to be dependent on them. Is that basically about it? Don't screw it up. We got a good thing going?
Yes, I think it's really important that we're ready to welcome tourists. Tourism is a huge part of our economy. So a lot of people in Chelan County understand how dependent we are on tourism. Do we want to be dependent on tourism? No, we want a full portfolio of economic health, so that if one industry starts to take a little bit of a dip, the other ones kind of do a little different. That's true in real estate and agriculture and other things in our economy. So I think we need a full portfolio, but when it comes to tourism, it is an integral part of our economic makeup, and it's really important for us to be ready. But the professionals in this county know that.
Well, you're a professional in this county. Do the everyday Joe Schmoes in this county understand the importance of tourism?
Well, Chelan County just funded that study to kind of rank tourism and its impact on our quality of life, as well as the economic benefits that we get from it. And I think that study was pretty clear that it is an asset to us. It allows us to do a lot of things that we couldn't do without tourism and the economic benefits that we receive from it, even your tax offsets. So it's really important for us to continue to make tourism a thriving part of our economy.
Chelan's economy is somewhat diversified, still very much ag-based, in addition to wineries and tourism, which is basically peaks between Memorial Day and Labor Day. But Chelan got smart and said we can bring people in November and December, and it seems to have worked. Talk about that, because that's.
Are you talking about like Winterfest and some of the
Winterfest
activities
and things
that
like
they're doing?
Because Chelan doesn't shut down after Labor Day anymore, like it used to.
No, but it is really important, because what happens in a tourism-based economy that's seasonal is those workers can't survive, so then they have to find other work. In Wenatchee, we have this magic of Mission Ridge and the summer swell. So you've got workers working in the winter in the tourism industry, and then they can find work in the summer. And I think Chelan is experimenting with how do we even out this industry so that the people can stay professional and earn a good wage and stay employed throughout all 4 seasons.
Yeah. So kudos to them. As you mentioned before, economic diversity is terribly important. Then you have Leavenworth, whose entire economy is based on come to town.
It is, but they're very strategic. And you know, I would highly recommend that you interview Troy if you haven't before. But it is fascinating to talk to him because of his previous experience before taking on the Leavenworth Chamber executive position, he has done some magical things, and I've said this in other interviews, but when you take a peak visit, I'll use Disneyland as an example because I grew up in Southern California. And I remember it getting really busy on weekends and not busy during the week. And they had to figure out a way to make it so that, they could even it out. There wasn't a swell of workers that worked only on weekends. There wasn't over-pressured. And Leavenworth was experiencing a lot of that before COVID. 50 buses coming from Seattle to see the Christmas lighting and things like that. And that wasn't sustainable. It wasn't sustainable not only in the economy of it, but just the experience. If you have 50 buses all of a sudden, like you were alluding to earlier, if you have 50 buses all of a sudden hitting the downtown with that many people, what kind of experience are they having? Right. So he looked at and interviewed a lot of the retail businesses and restaurants and said, okay, what's the peak number of people that we can entertain and provide a really quality experience? Well, about 2,500 a day. Well, let's level this out. So we'll leave the lights on instead of just turning them on weekends. And let's provide an experience and an environment that allows that experience to be a quality experience no matter what day they come. And I think they've done a really good job of that. And I think Leavenworth has been really strategic in communicating how many people are coming or what was the pressure last year and the year before. So can you expect this weekend to be really busy, or is it going to kind of slow down? And they track really carefully so that they can provide that information for a business to provide a good experience.
And they learned their lesson, especially with the Christmas lighting celebration, because on those big, it was a sea of people. Nobody wants to be in a sea of people, and so they don't have what they have done in years past. It's just like, here are the lights, and come and enjoy it.
Well, we're kind of like, I don't know lemmings that well, but we are kind of like lemmings. Like sometimes we go to
That's
restaurants.
A good analogy, yeah.
When we go to restaurants, we look to see if it's, at least I do because I came from a more urban experience, but if I go to a restaurant that someone's recommended and it's empty, I'm suspect. I am a little suspect. I kind of go, I don't know. Mm-hmm. I don't like waiting in lines any more than anybody else, but I've been spoiled here. I don't have to wait in lines very often. But you can see if our major population is Seattle. That's our,
the folks who are coming.
Yeah, that's them. They're used to lines.
Yeah.
So they get here and they see, Christmas lighting, we have to wait. They're going to be okay with that because they are used to that. We're not used to that. So we look at it completely differently. But I do think we want to provide a different experience. I do think when they come over from Seattle, it's really important for us to provide the kind of experience that we have. I mean, look at this place.
Yeah.
They come to look at this place and all of the places. It's not just Leavenworth. It's not just Chelan. It's Mount Kashmir.
It's this location
trails.
Where we're at right now. This is a beautiful, sober thing to be. But you can't come here at the spirit of 9/11 Memorial in Kashmir and not be touched by it. And it brings people here for the right reasons. And now, here we are, I was thinking about this, I was making notes about the Wenatchee Valley specifically. People are now coming to the Wenatchee Valley to come to the Wenatchee Valley, which used to be just an afterthought. We could sleep in Wenatchee and eat there, but we're going to Chelan to go water ski, or we're going to go to Leavenworth to do this or that or the other thing. It wasn't that long ago. In the winter, when you think about the Wenatchee Valley, in the wintertime it was Mission Ridge and skiing. In the springtime, an influx for apple blossom. Then they leave. Summertime was Lake Chelan and camping and that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And Leavenworth was kind of a year-round kind of a thing. And now we still have Mission Ridge. We still have apple blossom. Lake Chelan is branched out beautifully with golf courses and wineries and restaurants. Leavenworth is still Leavenworth. We now have the Wenatchee Wild. We have the Town Toyota Center. We have the Wenatchee Apple Socks, the Loop Trail, the Foothills Trail in Wenatchee, Pybus, Tour de Bloom. I mean, these are all new things.
But it's not just those in those populated areas. If you've looked at downtown Kashmir and all of the new businesses and the energy that this little community is creating, they're also growing. Side Street is amazing. Honey Hour is amazing. And I don't want to limit myself to just the ones that are coming to mind, but it is great to send travel writers here or tourists here because they're creating a unique experience. Plain has a new park that'll be right downtown. That's another new experience. Entiat right now has an outdoor ambassador program that operates on weekends with volunteers. So they're learning about the people that come to Entiat so that they know how to develop their tourism assets. What should we ever have a hotel? I don't know. Do people come here for, how are they experiencing Entiat now? And they're getting, last year we couldn't do Silver Falls as a location because of the fires, but this year they're entertaining quite a few interviews with people who visit Silver Falls to the tune of like 100 a day on the weekends. And that provides them such a good opportunity. If somebody were to come in and want to invest in Entiat and want to build a restaurant, they're going to have some information to provide on how many people they can expect.
Entiat is such an untapped gem,
right?
Isn't it? It's a jewel waiting to be plucked.
Right. Yep.
Hey, kudos to the Chelan County PUD. They didn't have to do what they did at Rocky Reach, but they did. Last time I was there were 70 Corvettes parked out in front. It was a Corvette club. They were taking a road trip, had not been to the new Discovery Center, and they were blown away by it.
Yeah, yeah. And Manson is experimenting with dark sky and trying to get the community to be more dark sky friendly. So they're all creating their own little experiences, their own little nuances and reasons to go visit those small communities, which I think is great.
And something that Jerry and I talked about before we rolled film, hotel companies don't build hotels unless they're pretty confident that people are going to come and stay. There's been a hotel boom, especially in the Wenatchee Valley. There's been how many hotels have popped up in the last 25 years?
Well, 4 opened just during COVID. So we added 400 hotel rooms during 2021, 2020. So there's over 1,800. There's over 1,800 hotel rooms in Leavenworth. There's about the same many in Chelan. There's about the same number in Wenatchee. Wenatchee is a little less seasonally impacted, has a little bit, but they're all just doing so well. Yeah.
And the fact that we're centrally located, which also leads me to something else to think about, the newly remodeled convention center.
Well, yeah, what a gem.
I mean, come on, we're doing pretty good. You must like your job.
I do love my job.
It can't
How
be,
could you not?
It can't be too hard to sell this place.
No, it's not too hard. When people call and say, well, what do you think we should do? It's like, how much time do you have for me to even tell you? Because there's so many things that I could tell you.
Talk about collaboration between your visit Chelan County. So your fence, so to speak, is the county, but there's also the Chamber of Commerce, and there's lots of different people, you know, who are doing kind of what you're doing, but not quite. Is there a lot of collaboration between your organizations?
Yeah, there's a lot of collaboration. Good. I think the benefit for me is having worked at Visit Wenatchee for 10 years before working for Chelan County. I understand the industry. I also understand that those communities have their own budgets and their own focus. So I don't overlap. If somebody calls me and mistakenly thinks that I'm Chelan, then I make sure to pass them along to the experts in Chelan. My job is the unincorporated areas of the county, so it is my job to work with the smaller communities to figure out how can we develop assets, how can we help you so that our tourists stay longer. I mean, Leavenworth and Chelan and Wenatchee do such a great job in getting people here. My job is to get them to stay longer and see more.
Well, good work. And by the way, the website, Visit Chelan County, is fantastic.
It's a new one.
Yeah.
We just launched it.
It's fantastic. It has on the front page. They have a webcam on top of the what's the hotel on
the Residence Inn.
The Residence Inn. It's just really cool. It's got a shot of Walla Walla Point Park.
We're working on getting one on the top of Grandview in Chelan so that we'll have some live coverage there. But we learned that lesson from, speaking of collaboration, from the Leavenworth Chamber, because the #1 visited page on their website is their live webcams, because we all battle the news machines in Seattle that are talking to them about wildfires or weather events or things like that here. And it's been really beneficial to have them be able to see for themselves and not rely on the sensationalism sometimes that a news agency might need to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What kind of feedback have you gotten on the column I referred to at the top of this interview? Again, it's in the Wenatchee World. It was in a couple of weekend editions ago. It's still available to read online. Just type in Jerri Barkley with an I, by the way, in the search bar, and you'll find it. Have you gotten feedback on what you wrote? Because I got a lot out of it.
Oh, yeah, I have, actually. I was pretty surprised. But yeah, I think it's just, I have tried to make a concentrated effort to talk more about tourism, because it's easy to just go to my office and do my work and not really communicate out as much as I should. So I've been trying to do that. So thank you for that. I do appreciate
read it, folks. What's a good day? We'll close with this. What's a good day for Jerri Barkley when you turn off the lights and lock the office door and head home on
a day like today?
Yeah.
Isn't it beautiful?
It is
I get
beautiful.
to talk to you about tourism, and
Yeah.
and I just can't talk to enough people about it, because nobody really. I kind of nerd out. You know how that goes.
That's it. I am envious of your job.
Are
really
you?
am. Yes.
Aww,
Yes,
okay.
I am.
Well, you can come and work with me anytime you want. I'm
I'd
still
love
a
to.
one woman show, so
Yeah, but
I could use the
you
help.
do it very well. What's next for Jerri, by the way? As we
Yeah, that's a
summarize-
good question, isn't it?
Anything that we need to touch on, or should we just leave it at that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jerri Barkley, I've known this lady since back to the Mission Ridge days. She's been class all the way. It's always good to see you. I will promise I won't be a stranger, okay?
Aw, thank you.
You're
That'd
welcome.
be great.
You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, and we'll be right back.
Did we do good?
We did really good.
Oh, good.
Okay, now we're going to tape it.
Chelan PUD works hard year-round to reduce fire risk and provide dependable service for our customers. But when extreme fire weather is forecasted, we may resort to a public safety power shutoff, turning off power to a specific area in order to prevent fire. In this rare event, we'll keep you informed before, during, and after the shutoff. To stay prepared and check if you're in a PSPS zone, visit chelanpud.org/PSPS.
Looks about the same from our Wenatchee Heights camera as it did an hour ago when this show started, and sure enough, the AQI is pretty much where it was at 7 a.m. Now it's almost 8 a.m. It is at 80 on the AQI scale, which is moderate. Again, the folks who are really getting hammered with the bad air is out in the Lilac City, the Spokane Valley area. Hazardous for sensitive groups, but up to the north of us, Tonasket, Omak, Okanagan, you are in the 160s on the AQI, and that's just plain unhealthy. As we mentioned before, the really big fire, and that is the Kaiser Canyon fire. It's over 100 square miles. There is zero wind, none. It is dead calm, which is good news. That means the fire is going to take any significant runs, and with the still air, they can get a lot of retardants and airdrops down there. It helps that it's somewhat close to a large body of water. But today and tomorrow is going to be critical days for them to get on that fire because the lack of wind, and so that's what they're going to be working on, getting fire lines built and things dumped like that. So we'll keep a close eye on the AQI scale throughout the course of the day today from the Department of Ecology. I really don't like doing those. You know what that means when we have to do the air quality. 99 today. The heat advisory from the National Weather Service begins at 11 o'clock this morning. It'll go for the rest of the day today, all day Wednesday, and into 9 p.m. on Thursday night. Tomorrow looks to be the hottest day of the forecast period. A lot of it depends, simply on how dense and how thick the smoke will get because of the wind direction. There isn't any wind direction. The smoke is going up and then it's coming right back down again, as it is prone to do. So 99 today. Look at the overnight lows. Very mild all the way through Thursday. Friday night, a little bit of wind, but not much, but a little bit of marine air is going to slide through the Cascade Gaps just in time for the weekend, so it'll be considerably more comfortable, all things considered, on Saturday and Sunday, and no rain. And provided this show isn't canceled, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.